Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a quick repair on the Ibanez SR500 bass. I've had this bass forever. This is like one of my favorite basses. I used to work for Ibanez back around like 2000 and I want to say 2006 or 2007. Worked there for about 3 years at Hoshino USA in Pennsylvania. And I fell in love with this bass at that time, and I've always bought them ever since. I just love the way these basses feel and the way they play. And anyway, this one over the years now, it has finally broken the D string tuning peg. So what I'm going to do is replace these tuners with these Gotohs and brand new machine heads that I bought online. I'll put a link below if you guys are interested. They're going to fit on this bass. Let me take the strings off and we'll get to this quick repair. This is going to be easy, so if you've ever wanted to do this, you know, you're going to learn today. So we're going to first start out, get these strings loosened up. And since I don't care about these strings, I'm just going to snap them. You know what? I'm just going to cut them right at the top. There you go. So step one is going to be taking these strings out. Step two is going to be loosening these little nuts here. This one's actually already loose. I can do it by hand. And I'm also going to use this little Music Nomad, the octopus again. So actually this will not work on that. It's not big enough. So I'm going to have to go ahead and use a pair of pliers. I'll show you when I get it off how it broke. Flip it over. And now we're just going to take these screws out. It's just 4 screws holding this thing in. So it's that nut and these 4 screws. There we go. Now let's see. Let's see. So you got to twist them a little bit here to get them to come out. They they squeeze right into those holes. They're drilled right perfect size. So if you flip them over this way, you can kind of rock it back and forth to get it to come out. Now let's go ahead, we'll open up the new set here. Take a look. Here we go. That's how they should look. This is the one that was broken. So this one that broke, the peg here literally snapped off. See if you guys can see in there. I know it's kind of hard, but it snapped off right inside there. Now here's what you're going to need. For these new Gotoh tuners, on the outside of them, you have this little nut, and this nut needs to screw on here. Now it seems pretty straightforward, but you need to have a socket that goes over this top piece, because this is going to end up being the piece that goes on the top, and it needs to screw into this. Now, what you have to make this work is you need a 15mm socket that fits that nut, right? I didn't have one. Now I had this whole car, you know, mechanic set, and out of all these pieces, I don't have a 15mm in there. The other thing I have to mention is you're going to want to buy this 15mm. It cost me about $6. Now the ratchet that I had with my set only has a, what is this? This is like a 3/16, I guess. So also I needed to buy an adapter set. And I need to be able to take this and turn it into a 1/4 inch, because that's the size of this socket. Okay, they don't make a socket that is a 15 that fits on that little piece there. So you need to have an adapter. So I bought this adapter. I'll put a link below so you guys can get it, and then you'll be able to connect that and you'll be able to use this for ratcheting. Super important. You don't want to start this and then not have this stuff, because you're going to end up like me and have to go grab it. Before you begin to do this and you just try to drop in these new ones, there's something I gotta tell you, and it's that the old one is slightly thinner than the new one. So the new one has this little nut that's got to go in, and it's a little bit thicker than the piece. So this piece on the base here is what kind of like fits real tight into the guitar. So when you put that in there, you're gonna see when I twisted that out, like it was a little bit tight. Well, this piece is even tighter, okay? And it's gonna go on the front side. Now, I just kind of like real quick started to put it in, and I realized what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to tap this thing in. So when you go to tap this in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use just like a little cloth, a little piece of wood, and just a little hammer. I got a little hammer. I'm just gonna tap it in real slow. The thing is, once you get it in there, you need to be able to turn that because the socket needs to be able to screw that all the way down, okay? And if you don't get a deep enough socket, then it's not gonna fit. And let me tell you, if you tap this thing in, once I tap it in, you're not going to be able to do this by hand or with a screwdriver without really damaging kind of the outside of it. So anyway, I'm just going to show you real quick how this first one would go. I would just put this cloth on top, kind of, I'm going to just tap on this, maybe find like a sturdy spot where that hole is and tap over that. I'm not going to tap it all the way in quite yet, but I just want to show you, if you do tap it in and you need to get it out, what you can do is take the old one, put it in there, and then tap this. You know, I actually really don't care about the cloth. And I can tap this one down to get the new one out, okay? And then once it's at this point, you're gonna have to use pliers or something and pull it out. So now I have to use these to kind of pull this out. But I wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so what you got to also make sure is that you put this washer on first. Okay, so that little washer is going to go on first, then you're going to tap this in. And the reason you need this socket is because you're not going to be able to turn this thing unless you have a socket. We're going to get started now putting first this head on. And like I said, this thing, since I already started this one, it kind of slid in there now, not too bad. But basically what I would do is throw this cloth on, just tap it in. Get it pretty much as far down as I can. And then you're going to flip this over. I'll do one at a time here. I'll just walk you guys through the first one. This one, you need to make sure that whichever one you put in, it's going to line up correctly, right? Because these things are all different sides. So you obviously don't want to screw that one in because the screw hole is on this side. And we need one where the screw hole is on this side. So what I would do is, let's see, I'm just going to hold this here. And then lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. I'm going to start to ratchet this in. Now I don't want to go too far because I do want to get this screw in, right? So let's line this screw up here. Let's put that in. Let's drop that there. Get our screwdriver. Let's screw this in. This will help you when you're ratcheting too. It's going to help hold it in place. Get that screw in. Okay. Let's go back. Continue tightening this bad boy down. So now I'm just going to do this. And you see, this is why you need kind of a deeper socket so that fits over that. Okay. There you go. And now we'll do the next one. Don't forget, you got to put your little wire washer on there. Put your washer on first. You're going to see how tight this one is. I'm going to tap this in. See how much power I had to use to get that thing to like start to go? Now, let's see if I can get it to catch. If I can get this to catch, we'll screw it in. Yep, caught. Screw this in. There we go. Let's keep going. Next one. Some of them go a little bit easier. You could also use a heavier hammer. That's in. Let's do the other one. Get it started. That one went pretty easy. All right. Let's flip them over. Now I'm not tightening these a lot. I just want them to hold in place, right? Flip it back over and tighten. Flip them over, tighten them up. You don't want to over tighten either, right? It should be snug, but doesn't need to be extremely tight. There we go. Done. And now I can run the new strings. Now I am going to clean this guitar up a little bit. I'm going to clean these frets with some 0 grade steel wool just to make them shine a little bit. That's it, guys. There you go. You got to see it. That's how you change these tuners. Make sure you get the materials that I suggest there, because you're definitely going to need that socket wrench when you get to tightening up all this stuff. Anyway, I hope this video really helped you guys out. I enjoyed doing these little repairs, and don't forget, please check out my guitar flashcards. I'll put a link below. They'll help you memorize notes on the fretboard, chord formulas, scale formulas, music theory, all that stuff. And check out my guitar course at tuningguitarcourses.com. Thank you guys. God bless.